Let's talk about the odd and even properties of the trigonometric functions. So you may have heard about odd and even functions elsewhere in your math courses, but just as a quick reminder, if you haven't, or if you haven't seen what that means, an odd function is a function whose graph is symmetric about the origin. And what that means, in a nutshell, is if you were to pick up the graph and rotate it 180 degrees around the origin, you would have the same graph. So in other words, a point over here, if x, y is on the graph, then over here we're going to have minus x minus y will also be on the graph. So one way of writing that symbolically is that f of minus x is the same as minus f of x. And an even function, an even function's graph is symmetric about the y-axis. So you might think something like this. And so you can see that if x, y is on the graph, then minus x, y is also on the graph. And so symbolically that's also often written as g of minus x is equal to g of x. So if this is true for all x, then g is even, and if this is true for all x, then f is odd. So let's look at our trig functions and look at the properties that they have, and we'll see which ones are even and odd. So sine of minus x is equal to minus sine of x, that is odd. Cosine of minus x equals cosine of x, that is even. Secant of minus x equals secant of x, that's even. And you can notice that really all the rest of these, all you really need to know are the sine property and the cosine property, because all of these can be rewritten in terms of those functions, either using quotient rules or reciprocal rules. But anyway, let's keep going. Tangent of minus x is equal to minus tangent of x, that's odd. And cosecant of minus x is equal to minus cosecant of x, that's odd. And cotangent of minus x is equal to minus cotangent of x, so that is odd. Just as a quick example, let's see how you would verify one of these. Say tangent of minus x. Well, we know that by the reciprocal, the quotient identity for tangent, we know that tangent of minus x is the same as sine of minus x over cosine of minus x. And now, because we know that sine and cosine are odd and even respectively, we get that sine of minus x is minus sine of x, and cosine of minus x is just cosine of x. And now if you cover up that minus sign, what we have here is tangent of x, and so this is just minus tangent of x. So if you ever forgot that tangent of x was odd, as long as you can remember that sine is odd and cosine is even, you'd be able to rederive it, refigure that out. Anyway, let's look at an example of what we can do with odd and even properties. So just some examples of what we can do. So suppose we're told that sine of x is 2/3 and cosine of y is 1/3. We were asked, what is sine of minus x plus cosine of minus y? Well, because we know the sine is odd, we know that sine of x is going to be equal to minus sine of x, and cosine of minus y, because cosine is even, is just cosine of y. And so what we get is minus sine of x, so minus 2/3, plus cosine of y, which is 1/3. And so we get minus 1/3 when that simplifies. Okay, so now we're told that tangent of x is 3, and secant of y is minus 2, and we're asked what is tangent of minus x and secant of minus y. Well, remember tangent is odd, so that's going to be minus tangent of x, and secant, remember secant and cosine are reciprocals of each other, so because cosine is even, secant is even as well. So this is just going to be regular secant of y, and so we get minus tan of x, so minus 3, plus secant of y, which is minus 2, so plus minus 2, and so these combine to give us minus 5. Alright, that's another example. So now we're told that cosecant of x is 2, sine of y is a half, and we're asked for cosecant of minus x plus sine of minus y. Well, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so because sine is odd, cosecant is odd, so we get minus cosecant of x. And then sine is also odd, so minus sine of y. And we're told cosecant of x is 2, so we get minus 2 minus sine of y, which is a half, so minus 2 minus a half. And that becomes minus 5 halves. Alright, now one more example. If cotangent of x is 4 and cosine of y is 3/5, what is cotangent of minus x plus cosine of minus y? Well, we get, because cotangent is odd as well, minus cotangent of x, and cosine is even, so plus cosine of y, which is minus 4 plus 3/5. And let's see, getting a common denominator, minus 4, that's minus 20 over 5. So this is going to be minus 20 plus 3, so minus 17 over 5. That's how that would simplify.